Welcome to today's deep dive. I want you to picture something for a second. You are standing on the edge of this massive canyon.
Okay, painting a picture. I like it.
Right. And on your side of the canyon is the construction industry, as we've known it for, well, the last 50 years. But across the canyon is a totally new reality.
A much more efficient reality, ideally.
Exactly. It's a reality where operations run smoother, your margins are fatter, and your best people are actually doing the work they love instead of, just drowning in endless paperwork.
Which is the dream for any contractor.
Right. Now, here's the wild part. Right now, 87% of contractors are standing on that edge, looking across the gap and saying, yeah, artificial intelligence is absolutely going to meaningfully impact my business.
So they see it. They see the destination.
They see it and they believe in the transformation. But guess how many have actually built the bridge and crossed over?
Based on the data, it's a remarkably small number.
A staggering 1.5%.
Wow. Yeah, that is a massive disconnect.
Just 1.5%.
I mean, just 1.5% of contractors are currently using AI across multiple processes in their business. The rest are perhaps among the 78% who are just tinkering.
Just playing around with it.
Right. They might be testing out a tool here or there, maybe playing with a chatbot to write an email, but they haven't actually integrated it.
No real system in place.
Exactly. And that gap between the hype of what AI can do and the actual reality of who is fully utilizing it, that is about to become a canyon that swallows up anyone who doesn't cross it soon.
The stakes are incredibly high right now.
The stakes have never been higher. I mean, looking at the trajectory we are on right now, heading deep into late 2026, the AI construction market is projected to hit an astounding $4.5 billion.
$4.5 billion. That isn't just speculative venture capital throwing money at a wall to see what sticks.
No, not at all.
That is real money being invested right now into over 40 distinct AI-driven architectural, engineering, and construction solutions. The infrastructure of the industry is fundamentally shifting under our feet.
It really is.
Which is exactly our mission for this deep dive. We are going to separate the futuristic hype from the actual ground-level return on investment in construction technology.
Cut through the noise.
Exactly. We want to provide actionable insights specifically for those construction business owners out there who are grinding it out, trying to scale their operations from that $1 million mark up to the $50 million mark.
And that's a tough transition to make.
It is. And to help map that out, we are leaning heavily on the market intelligence and analytic reports from Smart Business Automator.
Their data on this is really eye-opening.
It's fantastic. The data they've curated cuts right through the noise, painting a very urgent picture of where we are heading.
Yeah, because when you see a market expanding to $4.5 billion seemingly overnight, the immediate question is why? What is the underlying driver here? It is incredibly important to acknowledge that this isn't happening just because technology is shiny and new.
Because construction is a deeply physical, hands-on, traditional industry.
Exactly. Adopting software feels inherently counterintuitive to a lot of veterans who have spent 30 years building things in the physical world, not the digital one.
Okay, let's unpack this. Why is this massive wave of adoption happening right now? We've had software in construction for decades.
We have.
We've had project management platforms. We've had digital blueprints. What makes 2026 the tipping point where AI becomes an absolute necessity rather than just, an expensive luxury?
It comes down to a harsh physical reality on the job site. The catalyst isn't the software.
It's not.
No, the catalyst is the people, or rather, the complete lack of them. The industry is currently staring down the barrel of a massive labor shortage to the tune of 499,000 workers needed.
500,000 people.
That is 500,000 pairs of boots missing from the ground.
That's a staggering number.
And when you have a labor shortage that severe, you simply cannot afford to have your experienced veterans spending their time on menial administrative tasks.
They need to be building.
Right. AI is stepping in out of pure necessity. It is offering practical, immediate relief for an industry that is completely desperate for hands.
That makes a lot of sense. If you can't hire more people, you have to get infinitely more efficient with the people you already have.
Precisely.
But I have to imagine there is a lot of fear out there. If I am a superintendent who has been running sites since the 1990s, I'm probably looking at these tools and thinking they're designed to eventually replace me.
That is the most common misconception. and it is vital to dispel it.
Says it's not going to replace them.
This technology does not replace 30 years of hard-won field experience. It amplifies it.
Oh, I like that. Amplifies it.
Think about the seasoned superintendent who practically has a sixth sense for when a foundation pour is going wrong.
Yeah, the guys who just know by looking at the dirt.
Exactly. You want that person out on the site, supervising, mentoring the junior crew members, solving complex physical problems.
You definitely do not want them sitting in a trailer for 4 hours updating a spreadsheet.
Or chasing down compliance paperwork. AI takes the busy work off their deck so they can actually supervise.
Right.
But here is the terrifying vulnerability looking through the analytic reports from Smart Business Automator. 70% of construction firms have absolutely zero technology roadmap.
With zero.
None. They are navigating this 500,000 worker shortage. They know AI is coming, but they have no plan whatsoever for how to integrate these tools into their daily operations.
70% flying totally blind. Wow, that is staggering. It makes me think about what happens to companies that ignore massive shifts like this.
Well, what's fascinating here is the historical parallel this creates. If you look back to the 2008 recession, it was a brutal time for the industry.
Oh, absolutely brutal.
But the contractors who survived, and not just survived, but actually grew their market share, were the ones who adopted new technology early while everyone else was retreating.
The early adopters.
Yes. They digitized their plans, they adopted early project management software, and they outmaneuvered their slower, paper-based competitors.
So you're saying we are seeing the exact same dynamic right now?
The exact same. That tiny 1.5% of early adopters currently possesses an absolute massive first-mover advantage.
Because they are building their bridge over the canyon while the rest are standing still.
Exactly.
Let's talk about the actual technology building that bridge, because the sources point to 2026 as a major milestone in how this software behaves.
Yes, the big shift.
There is a specific phrase that keeps coming up in the research, Agentic AI. Now, I hear a term like Agentic AI and my eyes immediately glaze over.
It does sound a bit academic.
It sounds like a massive Silicon Valley buzzword. Streak away the jargon for me. What does that actually look like on a Tuesday morning for a crew framing a house?
It is the defining characteristic of AI right now. And the difference is actually quite intuitive. Up until now, we have mostly been dealing with passive tools.
Like traditional software.
Right.
Yeah.
Think about a standard chatbot or an early piece of estimating software. You type in a prompt, you ask it a question, and it gives you an answer.
It waits for you to tell it what to do.
It is entirely reactive. Agentic AI, on the other hand, possesses agency. It is proactive.
Proactive, okay.
We are moving from tools that merely respond to your inputs to systems that actively work alongside you.
I'm still trying to visualize that on a job site. Give me a tangible comparison.
Okay, think of the AI we have used up until now as a digital tape measure.
Got it.
It's a great tool, it's highly accurate, but it only works when you pull it out and read it. If you measure wrong, it doesn't care. It just gives you the number.
Right, it just does what it's told.
Agentic AI is like having a highly skilled assistant standing right next to you. Before you even fire up the saw, that assistant taps you on the shoulder and says, hey, wait a second. Based on the material we have left and the revisions the architect sent over last night, if you make that cut, we are going to be short on lumber for the upstairs hallway.
Oh, wow. So it warns you before the mistake happens.
Yes. An agentic system is monitoring the project data in the background, recognizing patterns, and it will proactively flag a potential issue and suggest an action before you even realize there is a problem.
Wow. Okay, so it is moving from a passive tool sitting in your toolbox to an active team member tapping you on the shoulder.
That's exactly it.
And the latest market intelligence from Smart Business Automator highlights this shift to agentic AI as the exact moment when the technology goes from being, a shiny toy you brag about at a conference to a core operational partner.
Because it fundamentally protects your profit margins.
Right.
When a system can proactively cross-reference scheduling, material delivery, and weather forecasts, and then suggest an action to avoid a 2-week delay, that is risk mitigation operating at superhuman speeds.
Here's where it gets really interesting. Let's talk about the money and the actual return on investment.
The ROI.
Because I hear AI in construction, and my mind immediately goes to sci-fi scenarios. Boston Dynamics robot dogs walking the site.
Sure.
Or automated machines laying bricks, which frankly, most small to mid-sized contractors scaling from $1 million to $50 million cannot afford and do not want.
Definitely not.
Are we actually seeing ROI there, or is the real money happening somewhere less glamorous?
The real money is in the unglamorous, tedious work. The most dramatic transformations are happening in areas that have traditionally been massive time sinks. Let's look at estimating, specifically takeoffs.
What's takeoff?
For decades, doing a takeoff meant unrolling massive blueprints, spilling coffee on them.
Staring at digital PDFs until your eyes burn.
Exactly. And using a physical highlighter to manually count every door, every window, every linear foot of drywall.
It is a painstaking multi-day process.
It ruins weekends, and it is highly susceptible to human error.
The dreaded highlighter. I know estimators who refuse to give up their specific brand of highlighters.
Right, but holding on to that highlighter is costing them bids.
How so?
Because now we have AI-powered takeoff tools that can scan those same complex architectural drawings and instantly quantify the materials. We are talking about shrinking a process that used to take 3 or 4 days down to a matter of hours.
Days to hours.
The accuracy is stunning. Your estimating team can now bid on 3 times as many projects with the exact same headcount.
That is the literal definition of scaling. But what about out in the dirt? We talked about proactive assistance, but how does the AI actually see what is happening out on the physical job site?
This is where computer vision comes in.
The sources mention computer vision interacting with a BIM, a building information model. How does that practically work? If I have a drone flying over a site, how does the AI actually know what it's looking at?
It is brilliant in its execution. Think of a building information model, a BIM, as a perfect, pristine, digital 3D blueprint of what the building should look like.
Okay, the ideal state.
Now take the messy physical reality of the actual job site. Right now, a superintendent has to walk the site, take a blurry photo on an iPad, try to remember which floor they were on, and manually write up a daily log to figure out if the framing matches the schedule.
Which takes forever.
With computer vision, the AI takes the daily site photos captured by a drone or hard hat cameras or even fixed cranes, and it automatically visually overlays the pristine 3D digital model onto the real-world photos.
Oh, so it acts like a digital transparency placed over the physical picture.
Exactly. It automatically tracks the progress, identifies discrepancies, and completely eliminates the burden of manual reporting.
Because of that perfect visual overlay.
Right. It knows instantly if a pipe was installed 6 inches off from where the digital model said it should be.
Which means no more pouring 3 feet of concrete over a plumbing mistake that you won't discover until a month later when the inspectors show up. That alone pays for the software. But as mind-blowing as the drones and the instant takeoffs are, the biggest ROI takeaway from our sources is actually something incredibly mundane.
The admin work.
Yes. For these small to mid-sized contractors, the biggest immediate return isn't the sci-fi stuff. It's the boring but beautiful reality of eliminating 10 to 15 hours per week of manual admin work.
Permitting, compliance tracking, chasing down email threads, updating spreadsheets.
10 to 15 hours a week given back to the business owner.
And if we connect this to the bigger picture, saving 10 to 15 hours a week is not just a nice convenience. It is completely transformational.
Let's frame that around the cost of inaction. Because if you are a business owner and you decide to just keep doing things the old way with your physical highlighters and manual clipboards,
you're losing ground.
You have to realize that your competitor down the street just adopted this tech. We are looking at a reality where your competitor now has almost 2 extra work days every single week.
Yeah. What do they do with that time?
Exactly. They use it to poach your best talent. They use it to take the best clients out to lunch.
Optimize their supply chain.
They bid on the $50 million job instead of fighting you for the $10 million one simply because they aren't manually typing up daily logs.
That is the canyon we talked about at the beginning. You don't leap from a $10 million firm to a $50 million firm by working 15 hours more yourself.
Right.
You do it by letting AI handle the 15 hours of administrative drag that is holding you back. You shift from working in the business to working on the business.
So what does this all mean? We know the market is booming, we know the labor shortage demands efficiency, and we know the cost of inaction is brutal.
Very brutal.
But if you are a listener right now, sitting in your truck, realizing you are part of that 70% with no tech roadmap, how do you actually implement this without blowing up your operations?
That's the million-dollar question.
Because the fear is valid. You absolutely cannot afford to halt a live multi-million-dollar project just to teach a grumpy crew how to use a new app.
It is a terrifying prospect to change the engine while the plane is flying. That is why the implementation strategy outlined in the sources is so crucial.
The parallel implementation.
Yes, the 30-day parallel implementation playbook. The entire philosophy here is zero disruption. You do not rip out your old system. You don't force everyone to change overnight.
Walk me through what that actually looks like for a stressed out project manager. Let's say we want to fix the bottleneck of progress reporting. Day 1 to day 30.
Okay, on week 1, you identify that single bottleneck progress reporting. You select one AI tool designed to solve that specific problem, perhaps a computer vision tool that syncs with hard hat cameras.
Okay, just one tool.
Right, and you don't touch the existing workflow. Your superintendent still walks the site with their clipboard, still writes their manual daily log, but in parallel, they just clip the camera to their hard hat.
Simple enough.
Week 2, the superintendent is probably grumbling about the camera, but they do their normal job while the AI works entirely in the background, analyzing the footage, overlaying the BIM, and generating a phantom report.
So the AI is essentially shadowing the human.
Yes. By week 3, the magic happens. The superintendent realizes the AI's phantom report caught a framing error on the 3rd floor that they missed on their manual walkthrough.
Because it's perfectly matching the 3D model.
Exactly. By week 4, you sit down and compare the results. You calculate the ROI. You look at the manual report versus the AI report.
Side by side.
You measure the accuracy, and you measure the time saved. This gives you hard, undeniable proof of the return on investment without ever putting your live project at risk.
And what if the AI tool doesn't deliver, or it's just too clunky?
You drop it and switch to another one. You haven't lost any operational data because your superintendent was still doing the manual log.
But if it does deliver?
You scale it. And Smart Business Automator's market intelligence shows a clear pattern here. This parallel testing strategy is exactly how that top 1.5% of contractors successfully integrated AI.
They measured the ROI safely, proved the concept, and then fully deployed it. It takes all the risk off the table. You don't have to leap blindly across the canyon. You get to test the structural integrity of the bridge first.
That's a great way to look at it.
And speaking of proving the concept, it's worth noting how the companies providing this data are eating their own cooking.
Oh, definitely.
Even Smart Business Automator uses AI themselves to constantly scan market conditions, track these technological shifts, and deliver strategic intelligence to their users. In fact, their subscribers are saving an estimated 8 to 12 hours per week just on market research alone, because the AI is doing the heavy lifting of synthesizing all this massive data for them.
It demonstrates that the principle of using AI to eliminate administrative drag applies across the board.
Absolutely.
Whether you are pouring concrete, doing takeoffs, or analyzing complex market trends, the efficiency gains are universal. You let the machine do the heavy data lifting so the human can make the strategic decisions.
Okay, let's do a quick recap of the journey we've been on today. We're looking at a massive $4.5 billion market explosion by the end of 2026.
A monumental shift.
And this isn't driven by a desire for shiny toys. It's driven by a desperate need to bridge a labor shortage of nearly 500,000 workers.
Necessity is the mother of invention.
Truly. We're officially entering the era of agentic AI. Moving from passive digital tools that wait for your command to proactive, intelligent team members that anticipate problems before they happen.
Like tapping you on the shoulder before you make a bad cut.
Right. We've seen that the real beauty of this tech isn't necessarily in sci-fi robotics, but in the highly practical, margin-saving realities.
The everyday stuff.
It's cutting takeoff times from days to hours, using computer vision to catch a plumbing mistake before the concrete is poured, and most importantly, giving owners back 15 hours a week of their life.
And we learned that you can safely cross this canyon using the 30-day parallel implementation playbook, ensuring zero disruption to your current operation.
Zero disruption.
This raises an important question, perhaps the most critical question for anyone listening today. Knowing all of this, looking at the clear data, are you going to take the safe, parallel steps to join that 1.5% who are actively crossing the bridge?
Or are you going to remain with the 70% who are standing on the edge without a roadmap, waiting for the ground to give way?
The historical parallel of the 2008 recession shows us exactly what happens to those who wait for the dust to settle before adopting new tools.
They get left behind.
The window to gain that massive first mover advantage is open right now, but as the labor shortage worsens and AI adoption accelerates out of pure necessity, that window will not stay open forever.
The canyon is getting wider every single day. And I want to leave you with one final provocative thought to chew on as we wrap up, building on what we discussed about proactive, agentic AI.
Let's hear it.
Right now, we are talking about AI flagging a measurement error on a blueprint or saving you administrative time in the trailer. But think about the trajectory of this technology. What happens a year from now when your competitor's agentic AI system starts analyzing global data and proactively predicting supply chain bottlenecks?
Wow.
What happens when their system identifies a shortage of a specific grade of steel in another country and automatically reroutes their material orders weeks before your manual retroactive reports even catch the delay?
That changes the entire game.
When their projects stay perfectly on schedule because their AI saw around the corner, and your projects stall out for a month because you were waiting on a supplier to return an email, who is going to win the next bid?
It's not just about saving time today.
Exactly. It is about who has the vision to survive tomorrow. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive. Keep asking questions, keep looking for the bridge, and keep learning. We will see you next time.